The final sound is the clang of steel, echoing a chilling farewell to the outside world. For countless souls, that sound marks the end of one life and the beginning of an unforgiving existence. These are the places where sunlight rarely touches, where names are replaced by numbers, and where hope becomes a distant memory. We're embarking on an unprecedented journey, traversing continents to step inside 8 of the planet's most formidable fortresses. From the chilling isolation of American supermaxes to the secretive dungeons of Asian power, and the complex realities of African giants. These are not just buildings, they are living, breathing symbols of justice, punishment, and the darkest corners of the human psyche. What secrets do they guard? And what happens to the minds that dwell within their impenetrable walls? Our journey begins in a place often called the Alcatraz of the Rockies. Deep in the desolate high desert of Florence, Colorado, stands ADX Florence, the only federal supermax prison in the United States. It was built in the early 1990s, not just to contain, but to crush any ability for inmates to cause further harm, inside or outside. This is where America sends its absolute worst, those who defied containment even in other maximum security facilities. Imagine a cell, just 7 by 12 feet, where every surface, the bed, the desk, the stool, the shelf, is molded directly from concrete. Your only view of the outside world is a 4-inch wide slit of a window, angled deliberately to show nothing but the sky, denying you any sense of location. Food slides through a slot in a thick steel door. You are alone. For 23 hours a day, inmates here are locked down. That single hour of recreation is spent in a concrete pit, still alone, open only to the elements. This extreme sensory deprivation is a deliberate design. It's meant to break the will, and it takes a devastating psychological toll. Reports speak of hallucinations, paranoia, and severe mental deterioration. ADX Florence has housed some of the most infamous names in recent history. Ramzi Youssef, mastermind of the 1993 World Trade Center bombing. Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, who terrorized the nation with mail bombs. Richard Reed, the infamous shoe bomber, and even the elusive Mexican drug lord, Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. They are here because traditional prisons couldn't stop them. But the question remains, does this extreme isolation serve justice, or does it tip the scales into cruel and unusual punishment? The debate rages, and the human cost of such containment is a haunting shadow over this concrete fortress. What happens when a nation decides that even ultimate isolation isn't enough? Our journey takes a sudden, shocking turn to a new, terrifying model of control. From the isolated cells of ADX, we leap to a different kind of super solution. In the small Central American nation of El Salvador, a crisis of unprecedented gang violence led to an unprecedented response: the Terrorism Confinement Center, or SECOT. This isn't just a prison, it's a terrifying testament to a nation's brutal war on crime under President Nayib Bukele. Built at astonishing speed in 2022, SECOT is a colossal complex designed to hold up to 40,000 and potentially 80,000 of the most feared gang members on Earth. Its sheer scale is overwhelming, surrounded by towering walls, multiple layers of electric fences, and hundreds of soldiers and police. But the true shock lies within its stark, minimalist cells. Designed for mass confinement, they hold upwards of 100 inmates at a time, with basic concrete bunks, 2 toilets, and 2 wash basins for everyone. Lights remain on 24 hours a day. Inmates spend all but a fraction of their day in these packed cells. There are no educational programs, no vocational training, and most controversially, no family visits or phone calls. The focus is purely on containment and punishment. The impact of CCOT is undeniable. Supporters credit it with a dramatic reduction in gang-related killings, reclaiming communities once ruled by fear. For a population terrorized for decades by gangs like MS-13 and Barrio 18, this drastic measure is seen as a necessary, even triumphant step. Yet, a chorus of international human rights organizations condemns CCOT as a black hole for human rights, citing allegations of arbitrary arrests, lack of due process, and inhumane conditions. The question it poses is chillingly direct. How much liberty are we willing to sacrifice for the promise of security? And what are the long-term consequences of such a swift, severe form of justice? If the new world has its extremes, what enduring nightmares have been forged in the old? Our next stop takes us to the historic, yet equally brutal fortresses of the United Kingdom. Enjoying this deep dive? Don't forget to like this video, comment below with your thoughts, and subscribe to Murk Files for more untold stories. In the bustling metropolis of London, where millions go about their daily lives, a fortress of silent, stark steel stands largely unnoticed. HMP Belmarsh, opened in 1991, is the United Kingdom's premier Category A prison, purpose-built to house individuals deemed the gravest threat to national security. From masterminds of terror plots to spies and leaders of organized crime, Belmarsh is where Britain sends its most dangerous. Its security is absolute. High walls, multiple layers of electrified fencing, advanced surveillance, and armed patrols. Within its formidable perimeter lies the High Security Unit, a prison within a prison, where the most volatile inmates are kept in extreme isolation to prevent them from influencing others or planning further acts of terror. Belmarsh has housed infamous figures such as Anjem Choudary, the extremist preacher, and even Julian Assange, the WikiLeaks founder, whose presence there garnered global attention, highlighting the prison's role in politically sensitive cases. But just a few hours north, in West Yorkshire, lies a prison with a much darker, older soul. HMP Wakefield, grimly nicknamed the Monster Mansion, is a name whispered with dread throughout Britain's criminal underworld. Dating back centuries, it holds a chilling roster of the nation's most heinous long-term prisoners. This isn't just a maximum security prison, it's a living archive of Britain's most depraved deeds. Wakefield is where the truly uncontainable are sent. Its cells, often individual, hold men whose crimes shock the conscience. It has famously housed Harold Shipman, one of the most prolific serial killers in history, and Robert Maudsley, dubbed Hannibal the Cannibal, after committing murders both inside and outside of prison. Maudsley, in particular, has spent decades in a custom-built glass cell within the infamous Close Supervision Center, a supermax unit designed for the most violent and disruptive inmates. Here, extreme isolation and constant observation are used to manage individuals deemed utterly beyond rehabilitation. The psychological toll on both inmates and staff in such environments is immense. These British fortresses force us to confront uncomfortable truths. How does a democratic society manage its most extreme threats? And at what point does the need for containment overshadow the very humanity it seeks to protect? If the West uses isolation and iron gates, how does discipline and profound secrecy define confinement in the East? A new level of control awaits. Our journey now transports us to Asia, where the philosophy of incarceration is rooted in strict discipline, unwavering order, and at times, profound secrecy. In the meticulously organized nation of Japan, Fuchu Prison, located in western Tokyo, stands as the country's largest and most secure correctional facility. Unlike many Western prisons, Fuchu isn't just about security, it's about absolute control through a relentless regimen of discipline. Inmates here follow a military-like routine from dawn till dusk. Every movement, every meal, every interaction is precisely dictated. Even minor infractions, like an improperly folded futon, can lead to severe disciplinary action. Inmates are expected to participate in mandatory labor for up to 8 hours a day, a practice seen not just as punishment, but as a path to rehabilitation through sheer hard work and strict adherence to rules. Fuchu is also unique for housing the vast majority of foreign male inmates convicted in Japan. Individuals from diverse cultural backgrounds often struggle immensely to adapt to this unforgiving regimen, facing language barriers on top of the strict rules. The focus here is on collective order and conformity, reflecting a broader cultural emphasis on societal harmony. But an even deeper veil of secrecy shrouds Qinqing Prison in China. Hidden away in the remote mountains north of Beijing, Qinqing is almost mythical, rarely acknowledged by the Chinese government. This isn't a prison for common criminals, it is China's most secretive, high-security facility, specifically designed for fallen high-ranking Communist Party officials, prominent political dissidents, and foreign spies. Its very existence speaks volumes about the nature of political power. Built with Soviet assistance in the 1950s, Qinqing is layered in security. Rumors from former inmates describe exceptionally large cells for some political prisoners, but with windows angled to show nothing but the sky, denying any sense of location. Isolation is extreme, designed to break the will and prevent any communication. Inmates are stripped of their names, referred to only by numbers, and their presence here is often a state secret. Qinqing has reportedly housed figures like Jiang Qing, Mao Zedong's widow, and a member of the infamous Gang of Four, and other top officials purged during political upheavals. It's a chilling glimpse into a system where incarceration is as much about control and political punishment as it is about criminal justice. From the hidden chambers of power, we move to prisons facing different yet equally daunting challenges. What happens when ultimate security clashes with the realities of burgeoning populations and systemic pressures? Our final chapter brings us to the complex and often stark realities of high-security incarceration in Africa, where history, population pressures, and sheer human will create unique challenges. In South Africa, the Kagosi Mampuru II management area in Pretoria is a vast correctional complex with a notorious C-Max section. This unit serves as South Africa's answer to the supermax, built for the nation's most dangerous and disruptive criminals, those who pose an extreme risk to staff or other inmates. Its formidable security protocols and isolated cells are designed to prevent any breaches. Yet, even from this ultimate lockup, one man achieved the seemingly impossible: Ananias Mathe. In 2006, Mathe, a notorious Mozambican criminal with a history of violent crimes, became the only person to ever escape from the C-Max section. His alleged method, using a hammer and chisel to break through a cell wall and then scaling the prison wall using a rope made of blankets, sparked a national scandal and led to a massive overhaul of South Africa's prison security. His escape remains a testament to the enduring human will to be free and the constant battle correctional systems face against truly determined individuals. In the bustling heart of Lagos, Nigeria, stands Kirikiri Maximum Security Prison. This isn't just a maximum security facility, it's a vivid symbol of the immense pressures faced by a rapidly growing nation. While its physical security, high walls, barbed wire, and guarded perimeters marks it as a formidable institution, Kirikiri's most profound challenge is not external, but internal: chronic, severe overcrowding. Designed for just over 1,000 inmates, Kirikiri often houses many times that number. This leads to immense strain on every resource: inadequate food, contaminated water, poor sanitation, and severely limited access to medical care. Cells designed for a handful of prisoners often house dozens. A significant portion of its population are individuals awaiting trial, sometimes for years, languishing in these dire conditions. Kirikiri has housed its share of high-profile criminals, including those involved in notorious corruption cases. Reports have even circulated of a VIP section for wealthier inmates, where conditions are said to be far more lenient, a stark reflection of the disparities that can exist even within the most secure confines. From the absolute isolation of ADX to the crushing overcrowding of Kirikiri, these prisons represent the extremes of human confinement. But what do they truly achieve? And what does the future hold for justice behind these impenetrable walls? What truly lingers behind the gates of ultimate confinement? Which prison secrets left you truly stunned? Let us know in the comments below, and shout out if you want a part 2 of this terrifying series. If you're brave enough for more, hit that like and subscribe button for Murk Files. And for endless hours of chilling deep dives, don't forget to explore the terrifying playlists appearing on your screen right now. Stay curious, stay safe.